For a lot of people, this story just sounds odd.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand that?
Yes, I do. And I see it every day online.
He's keenly aware the public suspects him, says the police did too at the start.
Of course. The stepfather was always a prime suspect right off the beginning.
So he offered to take a polygraph test.
I was extremely nervous. Especially with the first question they asked you, did you kill Lilly and Jack?
That was the first question they asked you?
Yeah. Yeah.
When did you find out the result of your test?
Immediately right after.
What did they say to you?
You did a good job, you passed. It's been a long 6 weeks. I know that everybody basically in the world at this point is always wanting to know like what happened.
The mystery of what happened to 6-year-old Lily Mae Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack William James Sullivan is indeed gripping the country and beyond. It is Friday, May 2nd. Martell and his partner Malehya Brooks Murray, the children's mother, are having a lazy morning with their baby. Lily and Jack are in the kitchen alone.
Malehya and the baby were asleep. Lily came in multiple times. I was not in deep sleep by any means. And then about 20 minutes passed, and then when I woke up, Malehya was right beside me. She was still asleep. And I said, I don't hear Lily and Jack.
To say enough is enough right now for searching those areas. So now we move to where? There's only one other option. A nefarious take to this. In other words, a criminal type thing. That's only my personal opinion.
Police. On May the 2nd, 2025, there was a frantic 911 call placed by Lilly and Jack Sullivan's mother. It was reported that the children had slipped through the back sliding glass door of their Royal, Nova Scotia home and vanished without a trace. Since that day, despite extensive search efforts, there hasn't been a major breakthrough in the case, or at least not one that the public knows about. Now, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, or RCMP, has remained tight-lipped until recently. The RCMP has now spoken out and provided an update, making it clear that they are not ruling out any possibilities. Polygraph tests have been conducted, but they haven't said who was tested, and that has only fueled more public speculation. Meanwhile, Daniel Martell, the children's stepfather, has come forward to defend Malehya, the children's mother, and to correct statements that were reportedly made to the children's paternal grandmother. Now, Daniel Martell is urging the public to give Malehya grace and to keep the focus on finding Lily and Jack Sullivan. So today, I want to take a closer look at the story being told by the biological father side of the family, the messages they've shared, the claims they've made, and how it all fits into the timeline since the children's disappearance. But before we get into that, I want to provide you with some more background.
Last seen in May, and since then investigators say they've chased down every lead. RCMP confirmed they've spoken with 54 people, conducted polygraph tests, and have received close to 500 tips. But yet, there's still no sign of the siblings. Jack and Lily's stepfather says he was the first to volunteer for a polygraph, hopeful it would help the search and ease public speculation.
I know it would be a big help in the case and kind of narrow down maybe some of the speculations and just provide more evidence.
Daniel Martell says during the polygraph test, he was asked several things, including whether or not he was involved in the disappearance of the children. He says both his cell phone and that of his estranged wife were confiscated and searched by investigators. This and weeks of interviews, there still hasn't been a major break in the case. And for their stepfather, the silence inside the once busy home is deafening.
Going from a family of 7 to just me, I mean, I have nothing but time to just think.
RCMP insists this is still very much an active investigation. They're reviewing surveillance footage and following digital evidence. But the emotional toll has already left its mark on Martell, including the loss of custody of his daughter, Meadow.
I haven't even got to see my own kids. Not even Meadow yet. But I'm still hopeful. I have supervised visits coming up that are granted by CPS.
The children's stepfather says he's grateful to the investigators and to people who continue to share tips, even if none have yet led to finding Jack and Lily. Until then, over a month later, the family continues to remain hopeful that the children will return home.
Now, according to Daniel Martell, in 2 separate interviews, he has said that he passed the polygraph test. So if you have not checked out that previous news clip, please be sure to do so. It is on the previous video that I uploaded. Now, you also heard a very interesting take from the polygraph expert. And what he stated is that if they are doing polygraph tests and examination on people, those are people they suspect might be involved in some way or for whatever reason are not being honest. In addition to that, you also heard Chris Lewis, the CBT's police and expert and a formal polygraph examiner, where they stated that just because you pass a polygraph test doesn't necessarily mean that you're not involved or you're not a suspect. So what are your thoughts about that? Please drop your comments below about that. Do you believe that if Daniel Martell has came out to the public and said that he passed the polygraph test, that he is no longer considered a suspect? Now, I do want to move forward. Now, in addition to this, Lilly and Jack Sullivan, paternal grandmother, she has made a post and she's been very vocal. Initially she came out and she said she was going to shut her social media page down, but of course she's reopened it. And what she has been making daily posts, doing a countdown, every day related to Lilly and Jack Sullivan not being found. Now, one of her posts, she said, "Our love goes out to all that feel our heartache as their own. To see all the love for Lily and Jackie Boy truly helps to smooth our broken hearts. Much love and appreciation for and administrators for the vigil to light the way home for Lily and Jack." Now, if you're not aware, there was a vigil for Lily and Jack Sullivan where she attended and she was on the news.
These are gone. My heart tells me that. I am the grandmother of Lily and Jack. I am the grandmother on the biological father's side. My son is Cody Sullivan. He's not in jail. He's never been out west. He does not have a criminal record. And right now he's living with me. He has been for 9 months.
How did you find out that Lily and Jack were missing?
The mom of my grandson called me. We were in town. She asked if I heard the news. I was in a state of panic, shock. But in the back of my mind, I kept saying, well, they'll find them. I mean, I'm assuming that they'd find them. So I told her, well, we'll head out first thing in the morning and help with the search. It was around between 3 and 3:30 in the morning. A couple of cop cars pull into the driveway. The lights wake me up. That I'm a fairly light sleeper, so I see the cars pull in, so I knew what it was. So they come inside. They only stood in the kitchen. They wanted me to wake Cody up, and they wanted to know when was the last time he had seen the kids, and that they were just making sure that the kids weren't here. And then they left. So we showed up Saturday morning, me and my sister, and we met up with my daughter, and we started, well, I asked Malehya, I said, you know your kids. Nobody knows their kids like their mom. Where do your kids normally go to play out in the yard? What direction do they usually like to explore? And she said, well, they always play up in the little woods right on the side. I said, well, okay. I said, we'll start from that point and we'll work our way out. We had spoken to a search and rescue, and we weren't allowed on the other side because that's where they were searching at the time. So we just started combing through the woods up through there. We were gone for a couple of hours. I'm yelling for Lily and Jack. We always called Jack Jackie Boy. And yeah, that went on for a few hours, but those woods, I started to feel that I can't see them being in the woods. There's trees everywhere. You literally have to climb over trees, climb under bushes. It is really, really thick. We come back out and I went in to see Malehya again. I assumed she was in shock. She was very, very non-emotional, very just flat, monotone. But Malehya's very soft-spoken anyway, that she's not usually excitable. I thought that's made her a really great mom. She was an excellent mom. She never raised her kid or voice at the kids. That it was always, now Lily, what did mommy say? And I used to think, now if anybody's meant to be a mom, it was her. A part of me still feels that.
Why only a part of you still feels that? What do you mean?
After seeing the place, seeing the condition of the home, it was like the total opposite of what I knew of Malehya. She was always clean, very clean about herself, about the kids, about her home. This home looked more like a camp. Now, I don't know if it's from all the people that were there, because I didn't show up till the day after, but it was very unkempt. I was pretty surprised.
I love you.
Lily is,
She was my little dream girl, that the first granddaughter. And I loved that she had the brown hair and she had a space between her teeth, which I had when I was a kid. So yeah, she was our little princess. Jack was such a sober, serious little baby that he didn't like to smile. You could tickle him and he would look at you ever so serious, like he was really studying you.
And so how long were your son and Malehya together?
3.5 years, I think it was, yeah. I thought they were the picture-perfect family. Then Malehya started to tell me that they were having problems and she wasn't happy. She told me that she wasn't happy and she thinks she's gonna leave. And I told her that we supported whatever she decides, that one good parent is way better than two broken ones.
And then how did that change your relationship with Lily and Jack?
I thought it was going to change, but it didn't. Yeah, it didn't change. Malehya, she was a sweetheart. Anytime we wanted to see the kids, she'd come by for a visit. She'd bring them by all the time. It was actually really, really good.
So when was the last time you saw the children?
1.5 years, almost, really, it's about 1 year and 9 months.
How did you deal with that?
Really, to be honest, maybe I didn't deal good enough with it. I looked at the fact that when her and my son separated, my son walked away. He chose to walk away, that she wanted sole custody of the kids. So she petitioned the courts for sole custody, and when she did that, he said he was done.
Were you ever formally questioned?
Yes.
So then it's about a month after Lily and Jack are last seen that they come and formally question you.
So it's about 3 weeks. They questioned Cody for 1.5 hours in the vehicle, and then they questioned me for 2 hours in the vehicle.
How did that feel to you?
I didn't mind. I mean, to me, I expected, I'm the grandmother, so it wasn't a surprise to me. I'm assuming the sooner they do all that, I wish they would have done it sooner, that the sooner they can move on. So I didn't have a problem. My son was a little upset about it. He said they made him feel like he did something wrong, and he said he hadn't seen the kids in 3 years. So he was a little upset about it, that he said that they really come at him hard. They wanted to know what her favorite color was, and he said, they were babies when I seen them last. He said, she was just learning what she wanted to figure out to eat. I don't know what her color is. So yeah, he was pretty upset.
Have they ever talked to him again since then?
A couple of days ago, they had contact, and they told him that they weren't looking his way anymore, that everything was fine.
And have they ever given you any information?
No, it's always the same thing.
Which is what?
They've got everybody on it. They are looking at all avenues. They can't divulge any information that could compromise their investigation. It's the exact same words.
Why are you so sure they're not in the woods?
I have children. I have grandchildren. And I see what kids are like through the woods. There's no reason for any child to wander deep into the woods. There's just not. I think somebody hurt these kids. I think somebody hurt them.
You don't sound very hopeful.
No. Our last day searching on Monday and seeing the woods and seeing the searchers and everybody everywhere. There's no way those kids are in the woods. There is nothing more pure and innocent than a 6 and a 4-year-old. And they deserve so much better.
Okay, so you just heard from the paternal grandmother of Lilly and Jack Sullivan, and she made some interesting points, but also provided some clarity. Now, one of the things that she did say is that she is the mother of Cody Sullivan, who is the biological father of Lilly and Jack Sullivan. So she did clarify her relationship to Cody. And I did previously do a video about this. So if you haven't checked it out, please be sure to check out the previous videos. Now, in addition to that, something else that she said that was really interesting, and I'm glad she provided that clarification, was that Cody Sullivan was never previously in jail. He does not have a criminal record. So despite previous reports that came out stating that Cody Sullivan was on house arrest, she has debunked those claims and said that is absolutely not true. In addition to this, she also stated that Cody and Malehya was together for 3.5 years, and she thought that they were a picture perfect family. She said Malehya reached out to her and let her know that they were having problems, and Cody and Malehya separating didn't change things because Malehya was a sweetheart. Now, something interesting that she did state is that she does not know how to feel about the situation. She said Malehya was really soft-spoken. She's never raised her voice at the kids. If anyone was meant to be a mom, it was Malehya. But she did state that after seeing the condition of the home, she was surprised that it was unkept. So what are your thoughts about that? You know, others have commented on that and said that it was a bit unnecessary to provide that detail, given the circumstances of what's currently going on. But what are your thoughts? Now, she also said that from her perspective, she thinks someone hurt the kids because she does not think they wandered deep into the woods. She described the condition of the woods, and she said from her perspective, she does believe someone has hurt them. She did go ahead and provide clarification that Cody, the biological dad, was questioned, and then he has been cleared because they were not looking at him anymore. They interrogated him for hours and subsequently informed him, hey, you're no longer on our radar. She did state that she posed the question to Malehya of where the kids go to play, and she said that it was interesting, the information that she received. So again, what are your thoughts about that? That is the paternal grandmother. Now I am going to play this clip, which is the news interview from Daniel Martell. And as you recall, Daniel Martell, he's the stepfather. That's how he has categorized himself to the news, and that's how the news has also categorized him, of Lilly and Jack Sullivan. What is interesting from here, and what I would really like you guys to pay attention to, is there's been so much speculation about the pink blanket. If you recall, I previously uploaded the dispatch audio that was provided from the first search. The the subsequent searches, there was not dispatch audio available from that. But from the first search, the pink blanket, if you recall, Malehya found the pink blanket and called them over, the search team, and said that she believed it belonged to Lilly, the piece of it. Now, there's finally some clarification from RCMP standpoint about the pink blanket. So I think that's interesting to pay attention to. There has been questions or concerns about if RCMP really told Malehya and her mother not to speak to the media. So they're going to clarify this in the news interview. It's actually the news reporter that said that she received clarification from RCMP. So I'm going to go ahead and play that as well. Please drop your comments below. And as always, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
A dog that barks at everything, a mother who left on the second day, a father who hasn't seen the kids in 3 years, and a stepfather trying to piece things together.
It's been a long 6 weeks. I know that everybody basically in the world at this point is always wanting to know like what happened.
The mystery of what happened to 6-year-old Lilly Mae Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack William James Sullivan is indeed gripping the country and beyond. It is Friday, May 2nd. Martell and his partner Malehya Brooks Murray, the children's mother, are having a lazy morning with their baby. Lilly and Jack are in the kitchen alone.
Malehya and the baby were asleep. Lilly came in multiple times. I was not in deep sleep by any means. And then about 20 minutes passed, and then when I woke up, Malehya was right beside me. She was still asleep. And I said, I don't hear Lilly and Jack.
The time, no one will say for sure, but police say it was around 10 a.m. when they got a 911 call.
I ran up in the woods to the kids. They have cabins up in the woods, which only took me like 30 seconds. I came right back down. She was on the phone with the RCMP.
For 6 days, crews tackled an exhaustive search. The children's mother took the baby to be with her family in another part of the province. Her mother told CBC News the RCMP told them not to speak with news reporters. The RCMP says it just advised everyone to be mindful of the information they share publicly. On May 7th, police scaled back the search.
The probability of survival is taken into consideration.
But search crews returned for 2 more weekends until the end of May, searching wells, mine shafts, and septic systems, even flying a drone beneath the home.
The 4-year-old is wearing some blue dinosaur boots.
Police say they found a boot print. And listen to this in the radio chatter.
Families brought us to a location there, not far away, that there's a piece of a blanket.
Police won't say anything about a blanket, but Martell says a piece of Lily's blanket was found near the boot print. He says both children may have undiagnosed autism.
For a lot of people, this story just sounds odd.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand that?
Yes, I do. And I see it every day online.
He's keenly aware the public suspects him, says the police did too at the start.
Of course. The stepfather was always a prime suspect right off the beginning.
So he offered to take a polygraph test.
I was extremely nervous. Especially with the first question they asked you, did you kill Lilly and Jack?
That was the first question they asked you?
Yeah. Yeah.
When did you find out the result of your test?
Immediately right after.
What did they say to you?
You did a good job, you passed.
Hi, Kayla. How you doing?
The RCMP's Corporal Guillaume Tremblay is not an investigating officer, but he speaks for the force in Nova Scotia.
You know, it's quite rare that in my career I've never seen 2 missing children go at the same time.
Was anything found in any of these searches that was deemed to be of significance? Even if you can't tell me what it was, anything of significance?
So I can tell you that the investigation is ongoing and that we haven't found any evidence to show that there was an abduction of the children.
So you don't think they were abducted, but you can't find them. How do 2 young children just vanish?
That's a great question, Kayla, and we are asking for the public for tips and information.
He says the force has received close to 500 tips, some that have taken them elsewhere in the country. But the only confirmed sighting of Jack and Lily was the day before they disappeared in Nova Scotia. Martell says the children were seen on camera with the whole family. Still, police are asking for trail camera footage in the area dating back 5 days. They say they're trying to establish a timeline in the lead up to the disappearance.
So when teams are tasked, they get a bearing.
Crews have searched around 8.5 square kilometers.
Coming up through all of this stuff.
Amy Hansen has been the search manager for most of that. She's taking us into the woods to show us what her team has been dealing with.
The vast majority of it was probably from Fiona.
Downed trees from post-tropical storm Fiona 3 years ago.
This is actually fairly mild compared to some of the areas.
Over a total of 10 days, they searched for 12,000 hours.
It's pretty much unheard of in this province. It's the biggest search I've been involved in.
And she's been at this 22 years.
Do you think those kids are in the woods?
From everything I've seen, yes.
Why can't you find them?
They're small, they'd be hiding. They would have crawled underneath something probably when they got tired. They could have gone further than what we searched. There's all kinds of scenarios, unfortunately.
So now you just heard the news interview from Daniel. You heard them speak about the pink blanket, and what RCMP said is that they are not going to provide any information about the pink blanket. Now, the significance there is that I did share the police dispatch audio, and there was some belief that that audio may not be correct, or it may not have been, but you also heard the audio in the news clip as well. So what are your thoughts about the pink blanket and RCMP not sharing that information? Now, what was interesting is because you did hear from Lilly and Jack Sullivan, paternal grandmother, and she states she does not believe that Lilly and Jack Sullivan are in the woods. But Amy, who has led the search team, you heard from her at the very end of that news clip. And what she said is that she has 22 years of experience. And based on her experience, she believes that Lilly and Jack Sullivan are in the woods, that maybe they're hiding because of how the woods are. What are your thoughts about that? You know, the paternal grandmother, she said that she went out, she searched. She does not believe that they're in the woods. So please let me know your thoughts. Now, I am going to go ahead and play this news clip from Daniel Martell when he attended the vigil. The significance here is that Daniel Martell is going to speak about Malehya mental health, and what he's going to say is show Malehya some grace. She's going through a lot, and he's also going to speak about CPS and the custody with the daughter that he shares between him and Malehya. So he's making a plea to the public to please show Malehya grace, because he says Malehya's mental health impacts her caring for their daughter. So let me know, what are your thoughts after this?
Reading the words from a page he was handed at a vigil for his missing stepchildren, 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan, Daniel Martell says it brought out a lot of emotions.
They had some RCMP speakers and people from the community, and there was even one guy who drove all the way from Sheet Harbor to come up and show his respect, so I appreciate that.
The children are believed to have wandered away from their home on May 2nd. It's been weeks and not much has turned up since, but Martell is still holding on to hope the children will be found safe.
It doesn't get any easier. I mean, 1 month has passed.
At the vigil, Martell didn't know what to expect, but people came. Strangers stood silent, held candles, and left messages.
What else can you do? It's a way they can show their emotion and as best they can, and that we haven't forgotten.
The children's mother didn't attend the vigil. Martell says the grief has been overwhelming, and online speculation hasn't helped, especially for their daughter that still lives with her.
Put your focus outward around Malehya and toward the kids. Don't attack Malehya, because her mental health is, you know, it's going to be reflected on her daughter, so I don't want anyone attacking Malehya anymore.
The county's warden says he understands a vigil may seem premature to some, but it's a sign of how deeply the community cares.
I always thought that perhaps it was a little early and perhaps it would show that we were sort of accepting the inevitable and maybe we have to. But I think there was still hope here. I don't think they were giving up.
The RCMP is still investigating this as a missing persons case and is encouraging anyone with information to reach out.
Okay, so you just heard the news clip from Daniel Martell regarding Malehya's mental health. Now, not only has Daniel defended Malehya and the paternal grandmother defended Malehya, but also her daughter, the paternal grandmother's daughter, has also defended Malehya as well. Now, she made a post thanking everyone. She said, just wanted to say thank you so much for putting together this visual for Lilly and Jack. Now, after she made the post, there was a comment that was made about where was Malehya, and then she made a comment and she said, how about just focus on where are the children? So, and then someone said, we had a discussion about the mom's absence and what that means, and she just made it clear the focus should be on finding Lilly and Jack Sullivan. It should not be on Malehya. And as you've heard the paternal grandmother also, somewhat defend Malehya by saying she's a great mother. Her only concern was the condition of the home, because she didn't believe that was in Malehya's character to have that home like that. Now, moving forward, the paternal grandmother did share a post on May the 24th, and she just said, our beautiful grandchildren, Lilly trying to look like grandma, and Jackie boy walking in grandpa's shoes. And you did hear from her news interview that she said Jackie boy is the name for which they call Jack Sullivan. So in addition to this, it also looks like here, I do want to go play this clip from Daniel Martell, cousin, as she identified herself as his alleged cousin. Now, before getting into this, you will see here is a picture of Daniel Martell's alleged mother and his brother. And this is an older picture. This is from his wedding some time ago. Now, in the picture, you see a post from Daniel Martell's alleged mother, and she made this back in May. And what she said was, it's okay to not be okay. Some days are just harder than others. The significant here is that her profile picture, if you look here from Logan, who has identified herself as Daniel Martell's cousin, she made a post, and this is an older post, but she made it on October the 22nd, 2020. The significance here is I want to establish the relationship to show you that it does appear that she does know Daniel Martell, and she does appear to interact with his mom on social media. She made a post and she said, happy 4th birthday, Brody. Someone please tell me where the time went. Daniel Martell's alleged mother, you can see right there, she said, happy birthday, Brody. Now, this is an older post. The significance here is to establish the relationship. Now, in addition to Daniel Martell's mother interacting with Logan on social media, it also appears that she changed her profile picture back on September the 16th, 2023. Now, if you're looking here, you'll see that she had 28 reactions on that profile picture. And of one of the reactions there, it was from Malehya. She reacted to the photo. So there was also another photo, September 23rd, 2023, and Malehya reacted. There was 55 reactions to this post, and one of the reactions was from Malehya. Again, the significance here is to demonstrate that the lady who has identified herself as Daniel Martell's cousin, and she is going to say in this clip, she was communicating with Malehya. She was all set to have Malehya come with her. And at this news conference, which I spoke about in previous videos, Malehya changed her mind because of her mother. She's also going to give her perspective of what she believes, may have occurred. She's going to talk about Daniel and Malehya's relationship. So I haven't previously shared this. I'm going to go ahead and share this. Drop your comments below and let me know what are your thoughts about this. And as always, I appreciate everyone's support.
That they wanted to look for the children, or did she make a fuss saying like, I don't want to leave until I find my kids?
No.
Or... Really?
No. So that's what I stated as well, because when I got there, I said, do you want me to stay with the baby? You can go look. She goes, I'm going to stay with the baby. Okay, said whatever. So I went looking. So that was the next thing, was when she was told that the baby had to leave the residence. She's exactly told she did not have to leave the residence. They just wanted the baby off the residence, from away from the residence. That's like, this whole scenario isn't something a kid should be a part of. So the baby was going to come to my house. So she's never been apart from the baby. Never. Like, she's meadow. So I said, you're more than welcome to come too. If not, I am comfortable. I have 3 kids of my own. Like Malehya, I can take care of this kid. Like, I can take care of the baby, no problem. So first the baby, it was just going to be the baby. And then she decided she was going to come with me. So, but then something changed and we were at the briefing. Her mother said something to her. And then I had to take everything out of my car and put it in her mother's car. And like I said, she had this whole plan. Like, she was going to drive her car into my house. Mm-hmm. And she was going to, and then the plan changed. Oh, I'm going to take the car to my mother's. Like, I'm going with my mother. Well, she didn't even come back for the car. Like, the search and rescue had her car towed to wherever she was because they left the car. That's how much of a hurry that was to leave. Malehya stayed at the residence Friday night.
And just out of curiosity, because I think you said something and I wasn't quite sure I understood. When did Malehya's mother arrive at the house?
So she arrived Friday. She was there before I got there on Friday when they went missing. I'm not sure the exact time. We all tried to figure that out. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did Malehya's mother stay overnight there?
I am unsure, but she was there in the morning when I came back. So she could have stayed the night. Like I said, I am unsure because I didn't stay at the residence that night. I went home. And Daniel did pass the lie detector test.
So what was Daniel's relationship like with Malehya's mom?
From what I understand, Malehya's relationship with her mother was never great. She didn't want to live with her mother. So Daniel's poison is, from what I understand, poison. Like, he always said, and he said this in his interviews over and over again, is every time Malehya got ahead in life, her mother pulled her back. So we'll just go with that.
I just find it strange how the grandmother would convince her daughter to leave
the residence
instead of staying with her to look for these babies.
That woman has never shed a tear the whole time she was there. My dad even stated that. He goes, I cried. Like, my father cried and cried and cried. This is a 55-year-old man. And he cried for those children. And that grandmother didn't shed a tear.
Now, I know you can't speak on Daniel's behalf, but what does he really truly believe happened to these kids?
That's something that he has stated all along, that it's something that has to come from him. He believes they were, I think he believes that they were picked up by now, like that they were abducted, because there's no sign of them in the woods. He doesn't believe they're in the woods.
Mm-hmm. So he really doesn't believe that mom had anything to do with it.
That's something I don't know, because, like, you know, you always have your line of doubt, right? Like, you always have your theories and your thing. So I can't speak on his behalf on that. Like,
yeah, I understand. I just know that they both used each other as an alibi and in the morning in regards to the situation.
Absolutely. And no, I don't believe he believed or believes that Malehya had anything to do with the children missing.
A question that I have is, did Malehya have, or do you know, if Malehya had her own cell phone?
Yes, she has her own cell phone. I've called her on it.
Okay. And Daniel has his own cell phone?
Absolutely, but they're a very open couple.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, I was just curious.
I see that. Did you think Malehya met somebody else type deal?
Oh, no, that's not where I was going with this. No. No, I was actually thinking back to when Daniel had said that he had gone out looking for the children and that the police, he had offered up his phone to the police to check the GPS and, you know, all that sort of thing, right?
Absolutely, yeah. No, they do have separate cell phones.
Okay, all right.
And the cops even gave Daniel a cell phone while they took Daniel's cell phone. So, like, yeah,
Right.
no.
Okay.
I don't know, like I said, like whatever she has offered up or whatever she has done, if she had a lie detector test or whatever she has done, I can't speak on her behalf anymore because I haven't seen her since literally that Saturday, but I haven't spoken to her since that Sunday.
So did it come as a shock to Daniel that she actually up and left him?
Yes, 100%. Like because one moment there was an altercation at the end of the driveway, which was me and one of Malehya's family members screaming at each other. And the cops were called down. So when the cops came down, they took Malehya aside. They took my mother aside because my mother said she was part of the altercation, which she was. I was as well. And my aunt. We all got spoken to by the police. Malehya literally told the police officer right then and there, like, this is the happiest I've ever been. I feel the safest when I'm with here. Like, even when she left, Officer Mason was dead shocked, as was Daniel, that she actually left. Because she told the officer that it was the safest she's ever been. So
Was that before or after her mother got there?
That was before her mother got to her.
And I just want to clarify, when you're saying that, she was saying that this is the safest she's ever felt, meaning in your company and your family's company.
Yes.
Correct? Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
So to know that he got home to go contact her, that he was blocked and deleted, was a complete and utter shock.
How old is Malehya?
Malehya is 27, I believe.
And Daniel's 30.
32, I believe.
32, okay.
Okay. I just want to mention something. There's 211 people in the room.
Yes.
Could we get people to tap, please, and just boost the channel? It really, really, really helps the channel a lot. So if you're sitting here watching and you're enjoying the content, please support the channel.
Yes, tap away.
Oh, and I described Daniel and Malehya's relationship great, to be totally honest. Like, for every time I've been around and been there, they've completely got along. So I don't know. Every relationship has issues, but I've never. I described their relationship as great. Like, they became very close. They had a child together. He raises their kids. She helped raise his other kid. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't see any issues.
And has Daniel had the opportunity, since this has happened, to visit Meadow?
No.
So who's preventing him from? Is it Malehya that's preventing him from doing that?
From what I understand, it's Children's Aid.
Sorry, from what you understand, it's who?
Children's Aid.
Why would Children's Aid withhold access to his child?
I'm not sure. And this is the type of situation that I've never been in.
Like, he even, I mean...
And he has proved himself over and over again. So, an CPS issue with this is kind of not my spot to say. So what goes on there? But no, from what I understand, and this is the only thing I'm going to say about it, is I believe it is CPS that is doing this right now.
So is it
Like, I'm
Malehya or is it
surprised that
Malehya's mom that has access to the little one right now?
The baby, Meadow is in custody of her mother. Like,
Okay.
Malehya has custody of Meadow at the moment.
I don't understand why they wouldn't allow Daniel access.
I don't understand why, if this is a case.
And Malehya has the baby.
Unless she made allegations of domestic abuse. But even then, it would have to go to family court, and he should be allowed, at minimal right now, supervised access with his children.
Absolutely, and we've been going through all that. But as of right now, we're working on that. So that's something I don't really want to discuss, is like his doings with the children at the moment.
Right. And that's fair enough.
Absolutely.
And I don't believe she's met anybody else. Like I said she felt the safest and everything there. So everybody's saying that maybe she met somebody new. I don't believe that. Her and Daniel were great, so I can't.
So just your gut instinct. What do you think? If you're not comfortable, that's fine. I mean, what is your gut instinct? What's going on with Malehya? Why is she doing all of this?
I believe her mother's kind of manipulative. From what I've seen of her.
Why would the mom want to do this?
I don't know. But what I've met of the mother, I've been Daniel and her have been together 3 years. This is the first time I have ever met the mother. And like I said, and you know when you get vibes from people, you know. Even when I was putting my phone number in Malehya's phone for her, when she was leaving, her mother seemed like I was doing something wrong. Like she was like, "What are you doing with Malehya's phone? Like, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm giving her my number so she has me to call. Like I'm a safe place." Like why are you being so nosy on what I'm doing to your daughter's phone? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like why? But when I did try to call Malehya afterwards, like on that Sunday, to check on Meadow and to check on her, she answered. And as soon as she answered, what I got was, I said, "How is Meadow?" She goes, "Meadow is fine." And then I hear in the background, "Who are you talking to? Hang that phone up."
So she's very toxic. Yeah.
Yes. So then when I called back the next time, because I'm very persistent, I'm going to call the next day, my number was blocked. So, you know, little trick on your phone, if you're blocked, you can private your number and it will still go through. So I did call, but I didn't say anything because I wanted to see who would answer the phone. Her mother answered the phone, and she went Malehya's phone, so I did not talk, and I just hung up the phone because I knew I wasn't going to get anywhere. You're a 27-year-old girl and your mother has custody of your phone. I think there's an issue there.
Last night was one of the worst nights because I didn't have them in their beds. And I don't want to go through that another night without them.